Today is February the 19th. Do you think it's ever right to take it easy? Well, let's find out together as we study the first 5 verses of Judges chapter 10. So we've mentioned before that in the book of Judges, we have 12 judges. We only have the stories of some 7 of those judges. Here are a few more of the real quick judges. Judges 10, 1 and 2, after Abimelech died, Tola, son of Puah, son of Dodo, yes, his name was Dodo, was the next person to rescue Israel. He was from the tribe of Issachar, but he lived in the town of Shamir in the hill country of Ephraim. He judged Israel for 23 years, and when he died, he was buried in Shamir. We're not told anything else about Tola. He simply lived, did his job, and died. The next, after Tola died, Jair from Gilead. Gilead is the area east of the Jordan River. Jair from Gilead judged Israel for 22 years. His 30 sons rode around on 30 donkeys, and they owned 30 towns in the land of Gilead, which are still called the towns of Jair. When Jair died, he was buried in Canaan. A very simple story. Jair judged Israel. We're not really told what Jair did, but we are told what his sons did. His sons, 30 sons, rode 30 donkeys and took possession of 30 cities. Now, this is the first time that we really see a judge who benefits from judging Israel. His children begin to assume ownership of 30 towns east of the Jordan River. We're told that they ran around on donkeys. A donkey is typically an animal of peace. A horse is an animal, a steed of war. They rode on donkeys. They wanted very much to live in peace. Now it's interesting that in the very next verses, if we start to read in verse 6, again the Israelites did evil in the Lord's sight. They served the images of Baal and Ashtoreth. They served the gods of Aram, Sidon, Moab, Ammon, and Philistia. Now the first 4 of those are nations to the north, to the east, and to the south, Philistia to the west. They abandoned the Lord. They no longer served him at all. So the Lord burned with anger against Israel. He turned them over to the Philistines and the Ammonites, who began to oppress them that year. For 18 years, they oppressed all of the Israelites east of the Jordan River in the land of the Amorites, that is, in Gilead. They oppressed Israel exactly in the area that Jair's 30 sons rode 30 donkeys in their 30 cities. What happened during that time? Israel followed other gods, and when the time came for an oppressor, Israel could not stand up to the oppressor. Is it okay to take it easy? The sons of Jair ignored God's call for the tribes of Israel to drive out the nations that lived among them. Instead, they became content to simply live in the land, follow the gods of the nations of the land, and turn their back on the Lord their God. Taking it easy, resting from time to time, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we give up, what God has called us to do and take the easy path, problems always follow. The path of the Lord is never promised to be an easy path. The path of discipleship is difficult. Jair's sons took the easy path. They paid the price for it with 18 years of oppression from the Ammonites. Take it easy and rest from time to time, but don't stop working for the Lord. Like, follow, subscribe, or share this devotional with your friends. If you have questions, send them to us at questions@becomehope.com. I'll see you Sunday when we hear more about Gideon.